Welcome back, friends, to our CNS integrated session. Yeah. So, yesterday we were seeing temporal lobes, neuroanatomy, and its physiology in detailed aspect. The vernix area, auditory cortex, and the association areas. These the areas we saw. Then we saw the functions of insula, the sensory and motor functions, and taste gustatory cortex. Then we also saw the medial temporal lobe, which is a component of Papez circuit as well as limbic system. The process of consolidation process of memory we saw in detail. And two questions were asked at the end of the session yesterday. One is, all are possible in stroke involving temporal lobe except fluent aphasia, contralateral superior quadrantinopia, contralateral homonymous hemianopia, conceptual apraxia. Okay, next, 13-year-old girl complains of episodes of abdominal cramps, jaggery taste in mouth, episodes of coffee smell in nose, facial grimacing, calls her bro as someone new. Best treatment for her: antipsychotics, PPIs, antiepileptics, temporal lobotomy. So today we'll be dealing with the medicine aspects of temporal lobe in detail. Okay, so first let's know about the blood supply of the brain. Okay, so the common carotid artery divides into external as well as internal carotid artery. This ICA is the major contributor for the anterior circulation of the brain. Okay, so this is the skull. I'm zooming in. There is a canal in the base of the skull, which is the carotid canal. Okay, it is closed upwards. So the internal carotid artery enters through this carotid canal, and there is a canal in the uppermost portion of the skull, which is the lacerated canal, foramen lacerum. Okay, through which it enters the middle cranial fossa. There it enters into this blue venous sinus, which is nothing but the cavernous sinus. So in this cavernous sinus, it gives its first branch, which is the ophthalmic artery supplying the eye. Next, anterior choroidal artery, which supplies the choroid plexus of the brain. Next, it goes medially and divides into terminal branches, which is the MCA and ACA, middle cerebral, anterior cerebral arteries. Okay, thus the anterior circulation is established by the internal carotid artery. Okay, so internal carotid artery, carotid canal, foramen lacerum, cavernous sinus, MCA, ACA, thus the anterior circulation is established. Now let's see how the middle cerebral artery wounds around the lateral surface of the brain and goes. Okay, yeah, let's see the lateral surface of the brain. Here in this lateral sulcus, this MCA is traveling. Okay, it gives inferior divisions. The inferior divisions supply the temporal lobe. If a thrombus forms in this artery, what features will it manifest? Is nothing but stroke involving the temporal lobe. Now see, if our mental dictionary, the vernix area, is damaged means, can you understand what you see or hear or feel? No. So, by listing out the features, MCA is blocked by a thrombus or an embolus. The two inferior division is blocked. If it is the dominant hemisphere, then vernix area will be affected. If your mental dictionary is affected, can you understand? Can you comprehend? No. Then if you can't understand or comprehend, no one to control the Broca's area, to control the speech. So the person will start to speak his own new created words, okay, without meaning. This is neologisms or jargon speech. Okay, next, repetition is also lost because he is not able to understand how can he repeat. So vernix area affected causes sensory aphasia or fluent aphasia. He can't comprehend auditory, visual, sensory information. Next, what about this auditory cortex? Will he have deafness? No, because auditory info is bilaterally represented. So deafness can happen only if both the temporal lobes are affected, which is very, very rare. Okay. At the same time, since vestibular cortex is also affected, some patients might have a feeling of tinnitus or ataxia during the stroke attack. Okay. Yeah. So, listing out all the features, MCA blockage. First is Wernicke's area, sensory aphasia, fluent aphasia. Next is auditory vestibular info. Next is visual field defects. Can you comment what are the visual field defects? Now let's see in brief about this visual system. So these are the orbits and optic nerves, tracts going to the lateral geniculate body, fanning out as radiations to the occipital cortex. So the visual field is seen by the retina, optic nerve, then optic chiasm, the crossing over, next optic tract, next optic radiations, superior and inferior, next it is the occipital cortex. So now, two rules you should remember here. First is nasal visual field is seen by the temporal hemiretina on the same side. Okay, like this. Nasal is seen by the temporal hemiretina. Temporal field is seen by the nasal hemiretina. Next, second rule is the nasal fibers traveling in the optic nerve cross over at the chiasm, whereas the temporal fibers don't cross. From the lateral geniculate body, superior and inferior radiations fan out to the cortex. Now if you see the stem of middle cerebral artery, the main branch, it gives twigs and supplies the optic tract. Now if you think a thrombus sitting in the stem of MCA will block the blood flow to the optic tract and the optic tract gets infarcted. What visual field defect will the patient have? Nasal fibers of the contralateral side is affected, which means temporal field is affected in the opposite eye, and temporal fibers of the same side eye is affected, which means nasal field defect is seen in the ipsilateral eye. That means if left MCA is affected, then in the left eye nasal field will be lost and in the right eye temporal field will be lost. This is contralateral homonymous hemianopia. So this visual field defect is possible if stroke is involving the stem of MCA. Next is what will happen if the optic radiation is affected. This is the section showing the lateral geniculate body with the superior optic radiation going in the parietal lobe and inferior optic radiation going in the temporal lobe. The superior optic radiation we call it as bomb's loop. You can remember like bomb is thrown in the sky. So bomb's loop is in the superior part, superior optic radiation in the parietal lobe. And inferior optic radiation is known as Mayer's loop. You can remember like Mayer is a politician who is always inferior. Okay, inferior optic radiation, Mayer's loop. It is going in the temporal lobe. So here you should know one more concept. Bomb always falls down. Na? So superior optic radiation carries fibers of inferior visual field. At the same time, politicians always try to come up. Inferior optic radiation sees the superior visual field. So now if you think, if one side MCA is affected, then one side optic radiation is affected. So in contralaterally, 1/4 of the visual field will be affected, which is contralateral superior quadrantinopia. We call it as pie on sky visual field defect. So the answer is conceptual apraxia. All these things are seen. Temporal lobe strokes. Yeah, thus stroke is over. Next we will see one more concept. Just think, if there is only selective loss of inhibitory neurons in the hippocampus, then what will happen? Excitatory neurotransmitters will be increased and the inhibitory neurotransmitters will be decreased, which means temporal lobe will be consistently pressurized and stimulated by the stimulatory neurotransmitter, which is glutamate, and hyperfunctioning happens in temporal lobe. This is temporal lobe epilepsy. Now let's see its features. We have understood all the functions of temporal lobe. Now it's very easy to decode its features. First is the auditory cortex. If auditory cortex fires, There will be impulse produced without any stimulus, without any noise. You are feeling noise. That is nothing but hallucinations. Auditory hallucinations form as a part of or in the initial phase of seizure. Then, if vestibular cortex is stimulated, tinnitus will manifest. Next, insula is hyperfunctioning. First is taste, produced without any impulse, gustatory hallucinations. Next, emotions will manifest. Emotional outburst will be there in the initial part of seizure. And they will be having bizarre abdominal cramps. They will be telling abdominal pain in the initial onset of seizures, vomiting, all these stuffs. Next, Wernicke's area is affected means dysphasias. They will be talking some random words in the onset of seizure if dominant hemisphere is involved. Next is the involvement of limbic system. If olfactory bulb is hyperfunctional, it will produce olfactory hallucinations. If hippocampus is irritated, severe memory loss might happen in the form of deja vu and jamais vu. Then if amygdala is irritated, the patient might have abnormal sexual activity or anger in the initial part of seizure. Okay, so here, did you notice some interesting thing? There is no tonic-clonic movements of hands or limbs here. Still, it's called seizures. So they are called psychogenic seizures. And you should remember, tonic-clonic movements of limbs is not always a criteria to call as a seizure. Then, if you see about the treatment aspect, already there are some cortex lost in these patients. Inhibitory neurons are lost. So whatever medical treatment you give, it will be refractory. So best treatment is to remove that portion of hyperfunctioning area, which is the temporal lobectomy. That summarizes temporal lobe epilepsy in detail. You know this difference between deja vu and jamais vu? If a known person seems unknown stranger, then it's jamais vu. And if unknown stranger seems to be a known person, it's deja vu. This is the MRI section of the brain showing the hippocampus in both sides. See, in one portion, the size is reduced, volume is reduced. Decreased hippocampal volume is a characteristic feature of mesial temporal lobe epilepsy. Now, with this knowledge, if you see that question, abdominal cramps is nothing but insular irritation, jaggery taste in mouth because gustatory hallucination, coffee smell, olfactory hallucinations, calls a bro as someone new, jamais vu, and best treatment they have asked. So it's always temporal lobectomy. Hope you find this session interesting. If you really like our works, you can subscribe us, share it to your friends, and let's learn together. Thank you.